And welcome to the 2017 Konopiście Open Disc Golf World Tour event. We're here just outside of Prague in the Czech Republic, here playing the Franz Ferdinand Par 67 Disc Golf Park. Very long and challenging course. I'm your host, Avery Jenkins, here with my special guest today, the long thrower from Germany, Mr. Simon Lizotte. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Glad the tournament's over, and it was a good one.
This is your lead card, final round. The best players in the world. We got Simon Lizotte, we got Paul McBeth, we got Nate Sexton, and of course, Ricky Wysocki. Paul with a one-throw advantage through 2 rounds. Let's see the battle. Hole number 1, 122 meters, 400 feet. A downhill par 3. OB stretching down the entire length of the fairway, down the left side and behind the basket. Very challenging hole and very accurate kind of shot to start the round.
Yeah, of course, this is the nervous hole and the hole you really don't want a mistake on, because if you go OB, left or long, then you go to the drop zone. So it's a pretty much instant bogey if you throw OB, so we really want to avoid that mistake.
Paul McBeth shooting a course record tying round at 15 under par during the second round, back by 4 to start, and it ends up leading by 1. Paul, first shot, mid-range, going short into the fairway. Absolutely not what he's looking for to start the round.
No, I think he makes this hole really hard on himself by choosing to throw straight at it. It would be so much easier to throw a little more overstable disc and like hang it out wide right, because you're still on the safe side, but it's a lot easier to gauge distance that way unless you go low and straight, which is skill-wise a lot more difficult to do. And you see a lot of guys who have the sidearm, of course, just throw over the OB left and have the disc finish back to the right. It's almost impossible to go too far left with an overstable sidearm throw, just because the first branches off the tee kind of block that. So sidearm is probably the safest play on this hole.
As you see Ricky going forehand, finishing to the right of the fairway. Not too far right though. Like you're saying, it's really hard to get that far over, and he's actually got to look at a putt for 2. Nate Sexton, I would almost venture to guess he's going to go forehand as well.
Oh, he's going to be throwing that Sexton Firebird pretty much on every hole.
Sexton a little lower line, hanging it out left over the out of bounds, and hits the line and curls up just outside the bullseye.
Damn, I thought he did hit the bullseye, but no.
No, it doesn't get the bullseye metric on that shot, but he'll take a 2 and he'll move on. Now, what's your play? I haven't seen this orange disc in your hands quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm throwing overstable putter. Pretty much just don't throw OB. That's the only thing on this hole. It's a bonus birdie. I'd say maybe like 30% of the field will get a 2 on it, and the rest will just get a 3 and maybe 20% struggle.
So the main objective is keep it in bounds. You hang it out to the right side, a little lower than you wanted, a little wider than you wanted. Nice overstable putter though, get you the circle's edge.
Yeah, just playing super safe. All you want is a putt on every hole. If we have a putt for birdie, we're pretty much happy.
McBeth with a long run, trying to give it a go. Very difficult to make a long-range putt on the downhill, especially with OB behind the basket. Rick giving it a chance, up high off the band.
I chose this weird, I was like kneeling down. I was not happy with that choice. I should have just straddled, I think.
It wasn't like a straddle on one knee. You actually putted off both knees.
Yeah, it was weird.
And I thought for a second, just being a kind of a trick shot or a tricky shot underneath the limbs, you might hit it. There's Sexton with the solo birdie to start the round.
Yeah, it's actually a good battle. Paul, Rick, and Nate are all within 1 stroke now, so I'm just going to try and do my best and forget the rest.
So Sexton carding the 2. He had started the round 1 stroke back at Ricky in 3rd place, now tied for 2nd. Still 1 stroke back to Paul. Hole number 2, 169 meters, 555 feet. The uphill par 4. It doglegs left and then cuts back right. Very challenging hole for the fact it's a kind of an uphill tunnel shot and lots of obstacles and objects around the green to miss, especially that bush that's just short right of the green and a few trees off to the left. A short par 4, but a par 4 should be able to get for the longer throwers. Sexton, I don't know what he was doing there. A little wide, a little high, catching those branches, getting knocked to the ground.
Okay. Yeah, he couldn't see where the disc finished, so he was a little worried there. But that's a pretty bad mistake to hit that first tree on the right. We all should not be doing that or that.
Or that. Yeah, now watching Sexton's shot a little wide, I think McBeth said, I'm not going to go that wide, I'm going to go a little tighter, and definitely too tight, catches the corner, knocks left. And then another shot, super tight to the corner.
Yeah, I got a little lucky there, punched through, but this one's weird because you got to go a lot tighter than you think to get far enough left to have a straight up shot. Because if you go too straight, then getting a 3 is really tough.
A little pirouette spin on the follow through. This is definitely a tee shot you feasted on in years past, getting it up high enough, towering, and then finishing left around the corner, give you a nice second shot look. Sexton struggling a bit. Tee shot, second shot, still caught on the corner with a really tough angle to the pin.
I got a nice little gap right here, and just didn't turn it over enough. The disc I wanted to throw on that shot, I actually lost on round 2 in the lake.
Losing discs out there.
Yeah, that was a second run FD shot right there, and I had to throw my PD.
Just out of position. I think he caught a branch in his backswing, which kind of altered his shot selection there, and he threw it into the ground. Paul not making the adjustment of the uphill angle. Everybody's struggling a little bit, having a little tough time there as Ricky catches a branch and flares him straight on the skip. Didn't finish as close to the basket as he wanted.
And Nate's in that spot where you don't want to be off your drive on his second shot. So if he can save the par from there, he's going to be really happy about that.
McBeth should be a little routine approach. And just not feeling it. There was 3 errant shots in a row.
This is for par.
A long par putt, and he didn't throw a single shot that didn't hit a branch or a tree on this hole.
Yeah, not very characteristic for Paul.
Off the rim, up, tickle the chains, and out. That was your birdie putt. Here's Rick for birdie. And drains it home. Big putt for him and a big stroke swing right there. As McBeth's going to drop in for a bogey 5, Rick knocks it down for the birdie 3. Sexton salvaging a solid par right there.
You see that fist pump?
Yep.
So he's really pumped he got that 4. Paul is not amused. And I am not really amused as well.
So with that hole right there, the short par 4, Ricky cards the solo birdie and swings the match, taking a 1-stroke advantage over Paul McBeth after 2. Hole number 3, 319 meters, 1,046 feet, the long par 5. The long and winding par 5 as it curves around to the right and then back through the tunnel, finishing to the left. A really unique long hole. Do you have an advantage by being a longer thrower on this hole?
I don't really think this course Of course, you'll have a shorter upshots here and there, but it's not really that much of an advantage to throw far. Especially not on this hole, since everyone kind of has to throw a roller. And that's a really good shot. It's really tough. You can't, on the camera, you don't really see the side slope we're throwing on. It's really hard to turn that disc over enough. And most players actually struggle and finish way too straight and long.
Yeah, you see the roller being the shot of choice so far. Sexton standing his up a little tall, a little quick, finishing to the right, just barely around the first corner.
Yeah, that was like grip lock. He like kind of rolled it through the tall grass. That's why it lost a lot of speed.
Now you're going roller as well. I think making up from the second round, didn't quite get the disc to stand up tall. And you definitely got it over.
Every round I ever played in that course.
Gotcha.
Every time just too straight. And that's pretty much the sweet spot.
So Paul McBeth, after losing the lead, trying to get it back here.
Little slip.
Little slip, little slide, left it low and gets a cut roll down the hill. Not horrible though. You still got a pretty good angle from here actually to hit that tunnel longer down the fairway. I mentioned earlier, this being a temporary course, just how thick and dense the rough is out here. If you get off this fairway in any way, left or right, you're working.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Like, there's no OBs, so when you throw a bad shot, you have to play from where it lies. And I think it's so much better than just putting ropes everywhere, and then we never get to like throw cool shots to save our pars somehow from the woods.
Very unfortunate roll by Sexton. Threw a little roller out just to get out in the open, and the thing continued down the hill and on the left side rough. Not a very ideal position from where he's actually just trying to lay up and maybe try to get maybe a chance at birdie. Ricky going a nice roller through the gap and extends it, going pin high into. Early left side, trying to go for the big shot, trying to carry to the green. And there's that rough we were talking about. Very dense, very thick. A lot of branches, a lot of leaves.
This shot was almost really good. I remember watching it, I thought it was going to be good, but little too overstable, that disc. And he went like 120 feet long.
A nice athletic, off-the-knee straddle hyzer out and sticks it on the green in 3.
That was impressive. That was pure power.
What are you looking at here?
A little gap right there, trying to like sneak it through, but not the worst break ever. Not the worst break ever, but of course, I have not forward this hole all tournament, so that's a little frustrating.
Very unfortunate kick. Just catching one of those branches, trying to cut the corner, and you did pay the price. Ricky, for eagle, nearly misses high left side, still stays on the green. You're talking about Nate going about 100 past. Just a little floater approach back onto the green.
Not what he was looking for. I wonder if he was trying to run it a bit.
Ricky's such a solid putter from about 22 uphill.
Easy 4. Made that hole look really easy.
And it is the hardest hole on the entire course, scoring average-wise. Being a par 5. Whoa. That's a rare miss by Sexton.
Yeah, that was like a 20-footer. And, yeah, he doesn't miss those usually.
As I was saying, scoring average-wise, this par 5 scores at an average of 5.2. So it cards plus and over par for most of the players. Ricky and Paul keeping pace with the birdies. Sexton with the bogey. Simon salvaging the par. It's hole number 4, 109 meters, 358 feet. A slight uphill tunnel shot, par 3, and the green perched up onto this plateau. Very difficult short hole, and it takes a lot of skill and accuracy just to get the disc up there near the green.
Yeah, this hole was actually, of course, aced by Paul last year, and aced this day also. I forget who, but he threw a sidearm ace, which is crazy because he like dodged 5 birches right in front of the basket somehow.
Ricky going straight shot, but catching trees. Paul absolutely nuts this shot, dead center straight. He had clapped his hands right after release, thinking he went bullseye on this, and skipping right past the pin on the downslope, about 18 feet out. What do you got here?
Throwing a PD2, just trying to get it over those trees. It was suddenly windy and rainy, so I got a little funky air bounce there. But I've been throwing that shot, even though I bullseyed it whole round 1 and round 2. I never threw it as high as I wanted it. It was just not good.
Yeah, those trees looking pretty tall to the right side. As you mentioned, this is the first time we've seen weather of this kind of rain and wind the entire weekend. It was threatening, and they had forecasted it throughout the week, about 80% every day. And this is the first time we saw any kind of precipitation. So it seemed to be affecting the shot, and especially with that little wind drop or shear, knocked your disc down into the trees, and fortunately kicked back to the fairway for you, though.
Yeah, I got a good break there.
Ricky, a little routine forehand up next to the basket. Here's Paul's chance to tie.
Whoa.
Over the top, very rare.
He leaves himself like the same putt he just had.
Little level ground, I guess. Felt pretty good about that putt coming back. Unfortunately, couldn't hit the birdie putt to tie the match. Still sitting 1 stroke back of Ricky.
Yeah, we're taking a star. No, we're taking a par frame.
A good old all-star par for everybody on the card.
Not great on this hole. Really not great.
You'll settle for it. It's not bogeys, but it is pars across the board. Like I said, Ricky still a 1 stroke advantage over Paul, and Sexton sitting 3 back. Hole number 5, 219 meters, 718 feet, par 4, and a big dog leg right up the hill, then around these guardian trees that surround the basket. Pretty touchy, difficult, but very unique par 4, and I haven't seen too many holes like this.
Yeah, it's a fun tee shot. First off, the tee is kind of sketchy because it's like up over the ground, and if you slip and fall, I think you could. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, you did mention these tee pads on a temporary course. Actually had to build these platform structures for the teeing areas just because it wasn't flat anywhere near where they want it to be. So building up these tee pads, pretty awesome, and the hard work that they put into putting this course in, not only the baskets, but building up all these tee pads for this professional event. Now this is a shot we came to see here. As you uncork one, big flex turnover shot.
I never turned that enough though. It's so frustrating because wow, they just cut it.
It's like one of the big chances for just a massive turnover distance shot, which you know very well. Sexton kind of going.
I don't understand this roller play. I don't think it's the right play on this hole. It's an easy high Anheuser turnover, and all you don't want to do is not give it enough angle.
Right. I've also failed to mention there is a secondary fairway around the backside of that island that Ricky and Nate landed in. If you go far enough around or straight on the tee shot, you get a pretty open second shot. Sexton trying to make something happen, getting out in the woods onto the fairway.
60-footer for a birdie.
Now Rick actually gets a line through here. Out of the island bunker. Just doesn't get the big skip on the side hill. Gets a little check roll down the hill. It's going to be a long birdie attempt from there. Is there a shot landed?
I'm again not really happy, even though I was trying to make that, so I was just trying to make something happen to get a chance to win.
It seems like when you do the pirouette after your throw, it's not going to be a good throw.
It's not going to be a good throw.
But yet you're on the green putting for birdie.
Yeah, I knew I parked it, but that was not what I was trying to do.
And another bullseye to pad those stats on the disc golf metrics. Ricky outside the circle, off the rim.
Every time he misses, it's still a surprise to me.
Doesn't happen very often. Looks like still getting a little bit of rain, a little bit of drizzle. May have affected the grip on those putts. Hasn't seen too much of effect on the tee pad, any kind of footwork grip or anything, but players managing the weather, playing through. Simon carding the lone birdie on hole number 5.
Making moves.
Making moves, 22 under, still 5 strokes back. Hole number 6, 115 meters, 377 feet, a downhill par 3, and looks pretty open. You got one tree being the obstacle short left of the green, and of course you have that road extending down the left side and behind the basket, which is out of bounds, but fairly scoreable and attackable hole.
Yeah, this hole's weird. It's like right between a putter and a mid-range and a driver. That
Really?
Didn't make any sense, but it's just like a weird distance going downhill and with the sloping hill right to left. Probably sidearm is actually the right play if you have that distance.
And I was questioning that why you weren't throwing a sidearm, for the fact that you're going to see these players right here all utilize a sidearm just with the way the hill breaks and curves to the basket. Ricky up in the bullseye, a little roll out.
Good
Puts
enough.
it about 12 feet, 14 feet. Paul definitely taking advantage of the sidearm as well. A little lower line, outside, wide left, destroyer. Big flare skip back onto the green. Getting a lot of action down there as these discs are hitting the ground, but then rolling another 5 to 10 feet.
Still good shots. If you're on the green on this hole, it's really good.
And man, like I mentioned, Sexton's just going to wear this Excalibur out. He's throwing this Excalibur on a majority of the holes out here. The gunmetal gray Star Excalibur, backside green. Looking for a birdie putt. Leaving it low, not giving it a chance. Simon's chance to go 2 birdies in a row.
Yep. Barely outside, and that's a confidence boost right there from putting.
It looks like the rain has let up here. It's continued for about 2 holes, and looks like it's getting nice again. Just the weather, the way it swirls around here. It can be cloudy, it can be sunny, it can be raining. It'll stop with quick. Got a little breeze there. That has remained. Ricky taking his time on this birdie putt. Up and in for 2.
Yeah, the temperature also dropped from probably like 70 to like 55. Wind and rain just... But I think this is when the rain stopped for the rest of the round, so we've been pretty lucky with the weather.
Paul, Ricky, and Simon all card birdie 2s on hole number 6. Hole number 7, 93 meters, 305 feet. The slight uphill par 3 tunnel shot. Let's say this is one of the easier holes on the course, but it plays much longer than actually measured. 305 is probably playing more like 340. And see a lot of players just kind of go the low line rifle shot, trying to get it up the hill. You got a good backstop on the hillside. Just trying to fire it up there. Give yourself a look, or a park job, or throwing it really wide through the trees and getting lucky.
Yeah, there's not there's only one option on this hole, which is throw it straight. And you can't really go long or short because it's a lot more uphill than it looks. So it's a good backdrop. There's no reason to leave it short. Just attack it. Kind of, this is one of those holes you kind of try and ace it. But then you end up short every time for some reason.
And also, don't let the distance fool you. I said 305, playing 340. These players can throw a mid-range 340 as he absolutely pegs it to the bottom of the pole with a Thunderbird. Here's your shot tracker. Talking about that low line laser beam shot.
Paul was talking about acing this hole every round.
But being a hole this short, you guys can all throw mid-ranges there, but you're all going to throw driver just to get the speed up the hill, and you know that back hillside's going to slow you down.
Yeah, we would have to throw a mid-range really hard to get it up that hill.
Sexton going forehand with the X-Cal in the circle, knocking down that birdie.
I think we star frame this hole every round.
There's Simon for Turkey. 3 holes in a row. 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, starting with 4 pars in a row just is not good enough. It's not going to do it.
You see a lot of the players. Oh, there we go, ringing those chains. A Czech tradition. We're getting the all-star birdies and shaking and rattling those chains. Ricky still holds a 1-stroke lead. Hole number 8, 90 meters, 295 feet. The shortest hole on the course, par 3. Got a roadway down the right side, the entire length of the fairway. And you got these 2 guardian trees just short of the green. Those are 2 trees you really got to miss on this shot.
This hole is weird because it's so easy it's hard.
Does that even make sense?
No, it doesn't. This hole doesn't make sense.
They're kind of giving you one here. They're like, hey, we've been tough on you with these harder par 3s, long par 5s. We're going to give you a chance to get a birdie here. And you took advantage of that.
Yeah, I threw what felt like the best sidearm of my life. Finally parking this hole for like the first time ever.
Ricky going forehand as well, and another bullseye.
Yeah, I showed him the line, so he just had to copy that. Easy.
Of course you did. Seems to be the forehand being the shot of choice. As Paul does a nice little 2-step run up and comes up a little bit short. Didn't get the power or the carry on that shot. Maybe kind of taking it for granted. And then Sexton throwing that patented Sexton Firebird. Catches one of the guardian trees, hits the branch, and falls short. This is outside the circle.
Big.
For 2 and in. Sexton has been slamming home some long outside the circle putts this event. I believe he had 4 during the second round. McBeth looking to match. Ooh. He needed that. He needed that to stay in it.
But that's the good thing about bad tee shots is that you can make putts like that.
It's going to lose another stroke to Rick here on hole number 8. I was actually looking forward to you guys shaking the chains again.
Me too, but Paul just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Paul taking the lone par while Ricky, Nate, and yourself go birdies. Ricky to 30 down for the event. Hole number 9, 288 meters, 945 feet. The long, turning, par 4, downhill. And then through this gap, down to the beautiful etched out green. We got the roadway behind the basket being out of bounds, but I'm gonna say right now, this is probably the prettiest hole on this course, an absolute signature hole for the Franz Ferdinand Disc Golf Park.
Yeah, it's one of the funnest holes to play, just slightly downhill, so the disc, oh, it rains again. So the disc flies, it's in the air for a long time, the fairway looks beautiful, and the way it shapes up to the green is just a really cool hole.
That was a different shot for you, leaving it low and tight, left side, around the corner. I saw you on the first round, absolutely unleash on this hole, probably the farthest drive I've ever seen on this fairway.
You've ever seen?
Well, probably on this hole. Just this hole, though. Sexton getting a chance to open up.
Sneaky distance. That was a good shot. That's where you want to be, left side, so you have the slight hyzer upshot.
McBeth looking to take out some anger on this hole, trying to get the big carry, the big distance down the hill, and using every inch of that fairway, carrying way down the hill, line up for a clean look at the basket. What are you, bored? Trying to make something happen, trying to be creative out here?
Yeah, I know I still had a chance to win, of course, but I didn't really feel it, so I was just trying to have fun out there.
I said to Simon being bored for the fact that, I don't know, he likes to wake himself up every once in a while by throwing some monster, ridiculous shot out there, and when you see him start lining up some unorthodox line, he's just trying to get some excitement for himself or entertain the crowd, one of the two.
Mostly entertain the crowd.
Here's Wysocki, second shot. Little putter, seems to be floating on him. Finishing left side, circle's edge, maybe a little bit out. Here's Paul's chance. Nice, clean, straight shot, good speed. The line just outside the circle, right side wide.
Yeah, not great, but good enough.
Long birdie attempt for 5 in a row.
I thought it was in. Struggle town.
Who wants it?
Probably Paul does.
Yeah, he does. Paul up and in for the birdie 3 on hole number 9. Making a stroke back on Ricky. And moving to 29 under par.
Yeah, we got a battle for first and then a battle for third with Nate and myself. I'm just frustrated.
Paul with the lone birdie on hole number 9, moving to 29 under, and still remaining 1 stroke back of Ricky. That's through the front 9. Paul 3 down, Ricky 5 down, Nate with 2, and you had probably a good front 9 with 4 down. You got 4 of them. Good green hits across the board, with Ricky at 56%. Inside the circle putting, you and Ricky, perfect within the circle. Outside the circle putts. Surprising, Rick doesn't have one, but he's been putting inside the circle, I guess. Paul, Nate, and yourself all with 1. And playing a clean round as the pros do. Lead card, final round, no penalties across the board. I want to thank you guys for joining us for the front 9. Lead card, final round here, Championship Sunday. I'm your host, Avery Jenkins with SpinTV. Catch us on the back 9.